It's my day off today, so I decided to process 8 pigs and I'm going to make awesome sausage. So it's been a lot of work to process these pigs. Most of the pigs I've cut down for, into sort of quarters essentially for freezing down. Here I've got, it must be a good 30, possibly 35 kilos of cut down meat. I'm using a bit of everything, to be honest. I'm using butt and shoulder, loin and a bit of belly, and it's just straight pork. It's just going to be straight meat and herbs and spices. 3 different recipes I'm going for. We'll see. The important thing about sausage is that you have really good pork. This is quite dark pork meat. It's from the Linderud. It's it's a bit more like wild boar than modern sort of Yorkshire breed pigs that are familiar here. And it's important that you raise them in a forest, because that's where pigs should be raised, isn't it? Yes. And you feed them good, and you feed them mixed diet and forage that piggies are meant for. And then you have the great foundation for good sausage. You need a good grinder. This is quite a powerful industrial model that's important for getting the meat ground down adequately. I'm putting some of the skin in. I've trimmed some of the skin off, but I'm also putting some of the skin in just to give it a bit of stability in the sausage. Not too much of the skin. And the recipe is really important. The amount of salt per meat and the amount of herbs and spices is critical. So I'm going to show you the recipes and write them on the screen so you can see them now. Now I just took this apart because I thought I'd better show you how the grinders work, because this is an industrial grinder and I'm putting some skin in here, and now you wouldn't want to do that in any domestic implement because pig skin is super tough. So there's 3 discs on this. The first one is quite open, like so. And then you have a cutting blade. You've got to make sure that goes the right direction. And then I'm going for quite a fine mince, so I first put a wider mincer on, like so. And then it has a second cutting disc. It goes on like so. And then finally, you either put a fine or a coarse one on here, depending on how it is you want your sausage to turn out. But it's really important that you make sure absolutely no bone goes through this machine. You can damage your machine like that. But as I said, the skin is okay in an industrial machine that's built for it. Having trouble doing this one-handed. But if you've got like a domestic blender, sort of home processor, you wouldn't get away with putting pig skin into there. So I've ground up the meat and put it into roughly equal proportions. Now I'm going to go and weigh it out on the garden scales and just make sure they're equal amounts and scale up my recipes according to the weight we find here. Well, that was pretty good guesswork. I've got 11.6, 11.2 and 11.7. So I'm not going to even them out, I'm just going to go with that. Interesting, because I can't remember what I said I thought it weighed, but 34 and a bit kilos. That's a nice amount of sausage for my winter supply. So now I'm just preparing some of the spice mixes. One lot's going to be like a bratwurst recipe, and that's a little bit of sugar, ground coriander, some sage, paprika, cayenne, rosemary and some dry mustard seeds, as well as pepper and nutmeg, and I just grind them up like so. And then salt you want about 2% salt. It's a good sausage recipe. I haven't screwed this in properly. Like about 2%. You've got to be really careful scaling up. You must go with weight and not volumes, because herbs and spices scale really weirdly if you don't go by weight. And so you've got to look that up. You can get all kinds of conversion tables online, wherever you are. And it's important that you get that right, especially the salt. And then taste what you're making. You've got to taste what you're making. This is going to be a good one. It smells delicious. Okay, so I'm ready to start mixing. This is a chorizo inspired sausage, so it's got some wine in there, and then a lot of paprika and chili and cinnamon, cumin. It's got a few onions diced and sliced in there, as well as oregano, garlic and cayenne pepper. Then we've got a garlic and pepper sausage, which is, it's got a lot of cloves and black pepper, as well as some more wine, paprika, fresh chives. So I'm just going to spend, you know, a good amount of time mixing up all these mixes, and then I'm going to test fry some of them and see what I think of them. Well, so much for a day off. I mean, the guys and girls have been having a nice relaxing day. Some of them went to town. Weather's really miserable at the moment. It's getting really dark now. It's 7 o'clock at night, and basically since breakfast I've been on pig, and I'm getting quite tired now, to be honest. But I've mixed up all my spice blends. I've also been making crackling, which is really good. But now what I'm going to do, test this little patty in the frying pan, see if I like the salt balance, see if I like the blend, and then I'll put this back in the chiller to sit overnight. You know, not much of a day off, but let's face it, I got 7 pigs in the fridge ready to go in the freezer, all different cuts, and there's enough sausage here for Johanna and I to eat normal portion of sausages every 3 days for 6 months of the winter. So worth a, you know, a good day's work. It's been a hard day's work. I've been working fast all day to prepare 7 pigs, but yeah, this is just a little bit of it, and it's not done. I need to put in the skins, which I'll do tomorrow. I'm signing off soon. I'm going to take a beer, but pretty cool. Let's taste them. So these are the test patties in order. Gonna get Johanna and then give them a test, see what she thinks. Taste testing. So 3 different types. We want to know salt balance and overall impressions, whether we like it or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should I taste right? Same.
That's good. We'll see.
Quite spicy.
Quite spicy? That's the chorizo inspired one.
Okay.
You like that one?
Salt is good.
Salt is good, no? Chacon? Initial flavours. What'd you get out of that? Ooh, garlicky comes in, pepper comes in after. That's the garlic and pepper one. Pepper's good. Salt is good. We got it right, Reggie.
Yeah.
It's good, no?
Like
I like this one. And then this last one is based on the bratwurst. Little sugar comes in. It's only like 25 grams.
See, maybe Rag likes this one. Do you want to try this one, Rag?
Oh, it's more like a British sausage in a way.
Huh. No.
No?
Don't want to try.
Don't
Don't
wanna
want to try.
Oh, we like that one. That's good, no?
Yep.
I'm going to let them marinate overnight. Salt is really good, and that's the main thing you want to check is salt.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to have too little salt, and that's so disappointing in the sausage. But too much salt and it's inedible. You know, a couple of percent by weight is where you're aiming for all sausages, pretty much.
The last one is the best.
Yeah, slightly sweet, no? But the peppery one comes out. Oof, it's good. I didn't eat dinner in anticipation of this taste test, so I'm going to eat sausage all night, right? You don't think about that. Just trying more, and the cinnamon really comes out of the chorizo inspired one. Very nice. And we like the bratwurst one. It's more like a British sausage, slightly sweet. There's very, very little sugar, but it really brings out a different quality to the meat, a sort of lightness to the meat. Peppery one's really good. The black pepper kicks in after. And the salt is perfect. I think it's super key to make sure you have the right... Raggie's getting tired and wants to go to bed. And he just bumped his head. But we think that salt is perfect. And it seems really critical to go for about 2% by weight of the sausage meat. And it's a fine art, it's a fine line. But really good. And just make sure you mix everything really good, because it's so easy to get a clump of herbs or spices in there. I'm going to leave the video with just putting the recipes online, and you can do mathematics to scale that up and down. It's pretty simple stuff, but it's so satisfying knowing where all this meat has come from, to have pigs raised in the forest in their natural habitat, and this is our winter food supply. Pretty good. It's beer o'clock. Time to sign out. So, it's the day after. I've just loaded some, this is pig intestine, onto the stuffer. I'm holding it together with clamps because this machine is a little bit underbuilt for its capacity, and it stretches out the sides, which means this thing can fall loose. It's on a sort of pivot, so I can tip this back to stuff it now. I'm going to start with the bratwurst sausage mix. So I'm not going to completely fill it because this machine is just not well built enough to handle such a high amount, and I'm going through quite a small nozzle here. So I'm going to make a whole continuous stretch and then twist them into bunches of sausages afterwards. The important thing is you really throw the meat down in there and make sure there's no air bubbles, because you don't want air getting in there. And then I've greased this lightly with oil just so it will travel down the first time, then the natural grease in the meat will keep that a bit lubricated. I can't do this one-handed. It's better in a way to have one person winding, one controlling the fill. I'm going to try it on my own. So this is the bratwurst. Slightly sweetened one that was really delicious. I've made them in longer lengths because this is about what we'll eat in a meal over the winter. So, lots of good winter night feast there. Maggie, you helping stuff sausages? Are you sleeping? Sleeping a bit? It's quite hard to do this one-handed. I've been doing it just by taking the handle off and leveraging a small bit at a time. But much better with two people so that you can have one controlling the skin. You have to really guide the sausage meat into the skin by way of controlling how fast it's coming in and pushing the skin along. If the skin gets stuck on here, it bursts the skin really easily. And if it comes through too fast, it leaves a lot of air holes, which is not ideal. So to make these are the Teresa style sausage. And what I do, Raggy, is I make 2 twists of the same direction, fold them back in, and then the third sausage you want to twist the other direction, and you get these 2 around each other and poke that one back in, and that gives you a link and it doesn't unwind itself. So I'm doing that for all the chorizos, and we'll freeze them down like that. All done. Maggie, how did it go? Counting all the beans. Went okay, didn't it? They got dispersed. But look, we've done all the sausages. So this is the bratwurst, and the chorizo, and this is the pepper and garlic one. And that's the scale. And for context, it's about 44 kilos. At Swedish prices, that's at least 700 euros worth of sausage. Not bad for an hour's stuffing. And we're going to put them in single racks in the freezer with a layer of paper in between and stack them up so we can get them out easily for quick winter eating. So, all done and packed in 2 or 3 layers, and they're going in the freezer now. Thanks for watching our videos as always. I'm going to leave the recipes online at the end of the video just for sort of 5 to 10 seconds for each recipe so that you can pause that and use it if you feel so moved. Should be getting a new arrival of our books in the post this week, so we can send them out to you. I know a lot of folks have been writing, but just hold your horses, they're coming soon. Excited to get that out to you. We'll see you in the next video.